Welcome to LilyTube. Please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed. Today, we're going to talk about balance and harmony, and we'll dive in right after a quick word from our sponsor.
This video is sponsored by Canyon Foot and Ankle. From simple nail care to advanced trauma and reconstructive care, their podiatrists have the training and skills needed to resolve even the most complex cases. Treat your feet to the exceptional care they deserve.
So I have brought with me today my favorite professional violinist. Cathy happens to always be here, but she's brought her violin this time, and she has got a kind of cool topic for you guys that is a little different from what we normally talk about. So tell us about violins and relationships and whatever else.
I was at the Intermountain Suzuki String Institute observing some of my students take classes. And they bring in teachers from all over the world once a year, every June here in Utah, and it's so inspiring. And a couple of my students took from a particular masterclass teacher from California who I really enjoyed watching. She explained a lot of the same concepts, but with different words. And I always get new ideas about how to explain technique to my students. It was near the end of the day, the second time I observed this teacher teach, that she said something that was so profound to me, not just about violin, but about life and relationships. So one thing that a lot of people don't know about the violin is that not only do you have to have precise fingering, exactly in the right place to get the pitch that you want, but you also have to be very skilled in the bow hand in order to get the kind of sound you want, and that we call that tone. So the tone production comes from all the right hand technique, while the pitch production comes from left hand. The side of the body she was talking most about during this particular lesson was the tone. That is something we talk a lot about in violin with students and with teachers, and really because it is in essence what comes out of the instrument. The way she explained it, and I've been playing my whole life, so this isn't news to me, but the way she said it is that when we're at the frog, which is heavier than the upper part of the bow, in fact, the balance point on a bow is about right here. So that means that all of this is the same weight as just this much.
And the frog is this handle, right?
That's right. So the hand is at the frog in just the right way. If I play my bow across the string, this half is heavy, this part is heavy, and this part is lighter. Lighter as we go up, heavier as we come down. Now, she asked my student to bring her bow across the string and not to adjust her weight. That didn't sound so good.
A little screechy.
Yeah. That was hard for me to make such an ugly sound for you. I can usually sound better than that because I know that I play lighter at the frog because it already has weight in it. Now, think about life, think about relationships. When things are heavy, what do we tend to do? We tend to bear down on the issues that vex us. We want to solve stuff. We want to get heavy with it. And yet what happens? We scratch. We make terrible sounds. When things are light, we want to keep them light, right? When we're having fun, we don't want to dive into all the hard stuff, but that's when it can handle the pressure.
What happens if you play light on the light end?
It sounds like water splatter tone is what we call it, where the little water spiders come along like the surface of the water, and they don't really dive into the water at all. It's just kind of like, it's lackluster.
So you're suggesting kind of compensating, I think, if you're on the frog side of life, the heavy side of life, to play lighter, and when you're on the light end of life, maybe give it some more weight.
Yeah, give it more depth. So how that would apply to our relationship. We tend to be serious people. If you have a serious partner, or you're in a partnership with a serious person and you're a serious person like we are, there's going to be some heavy moments. And it's at those times that you have to resist the urge to get heavy with it.
There are those times when we might be tempted, if we're worrying about something, to take on everything at once, to even be a little snappy with a partner because we're under so much stress, and it might seem unnatural.
But when we do that, it actually helps us lighten our load that at that moment is heavy, because we're here. We're playing here, we have to be lighter. Now, when we're here, what happens, Jeff?
Well, we're not there a huge amount, but when things are lighter, we tend to not want to put weight on it because it feels good to be light.
Especially when you live here a lot.
And yet those may be the moments when we have more resources to deal with problem solving.
So if you're going to go to therapy, if you're going to get help for a particular issue, if you're going to talk about something hard, if we are going to talk about something hard, the best time is when we're both feeling good, when we're both feeling calm, when we're fed, all the things that we need in order to succeed at being a little heavier.
If there's a moment when we're being heavy and we were to go see a therapist in that moment, and he or she talks to us about what's troubling you, I might bring something up and, Cathy might respond by saying, well, I do that because you're being so mean. Whereas if we were both feeling calmer, feeling lighter, well,
maybe less defensive, maybe
more objective,
more able to take constructive feedback. We've had a lot of serious stuff lately, a lot of heavy stuff. And we recognize and we realized lately, because of this violin discovery I made in this masterclass of all places, that we need to get lighter when life is heavy.
When things are heavy, to want to problem solve it. And in our society, we talk about how communication is the most important thing in relationships. You've got to be able to communicate. And yet, I think there are times when the communication can just seem heavy and overwhelming. And sometimes if you just watch a stupid movie and laugh together, that's going to be a better solution in many cases than having a long, drawn-out, all-night discussion about how badly you're hurting or what your problem is.
So, moral of the story is, when you're in the heavy part of life, realize that's where you are and lighten up. It'll sound better. It'll feel better too. You and I are in more harmony when we assess our situation. Brene Brown is a very popular speaker. A lot of people know who she is, love her books, love her quotes. And do you remember what she does with her husband every night? They check in with each other.
Right.
And they say, hey, how much have you got left in you? And if it's low, they order takeout. They do something to make their load lighter. And if they're both doing great, they're like, okay, well, then let's talk about this thing. I think that's smart. It's smart to check in with your partner and assess not only yourself, but also find out where they're at. And if you're heavy and I'm light, I can usually lighten you up, right? And vice versa. When I'm heavy and you're light, you can lighten me up. When we're both heavy, we really have to be. That's when we've got to be really careful.
Right. And I mean, if it's a night when I'm just kind of out of energy, you say something that irritates me, is it going to help us more if I communicate and say, why do you have to be so controlling? Or if I say, you know what, let's go watch the stupidest movie in our binder. What's going to give us the most benefit? And I think sometimes it is lightening up when things are heavy.
And then when things are light for us, being willing to do the harder work of marriage. 100%. When we want it to stay light and fun. Now, at the tip of a bow, when we put in on pressure, we get this really beautiful, rich tone. And I think I want to leave our viewers with a little better sound. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
To wrap up, I'm going to play one of our favorite tone production pieces in the Suzuki literature, Chorus from Judas Maccabeus from Book 2. before I turn it back over to Jeff to wrap up this video, I just want to say that one of Suzuki's famous sayings is, beautiful tone, beautiful heart. And I just felt that in me as we talked about balance in relationships and in life and in the bow technique on the violin, that when we create that balance, we develop beautiful hearts and beautiful tone in our lives.
Thank you, Cathy. Now you have a way every time you hear somebody play a violin to think about balance and harmony in your relationships. And remember, folks, any time is a great time for more love and more harmony in your life.
Thanks for joining us for another week on LilyTube. If you enjoy what you see, support us by liking, commenting, and sharing your favorite videos with others who could benefit.
As single life and relationship coaches, our mission is to help single adults intentionally heal from loss to create a happy life and healthy relationships. Keep coming back and we'll keep you encouraged. Each week, we provide new and refreshing perspectives on the challenges and opportunities of mid-single life.
If you'd like to immerse yourself deeper into your own personal development and relationship journey, visit our website at loveinlateryears.com for even more resources. Don't take on divorce recovery and other relationship loss and single life alone. We are here for you.